Baby, we're live. Good evening, my loves. Thank you so much for your patience. I wanted to look really good for you guys, and I got a little bit carried away. Not going to make any excuses, but at least I look fabulous. So happy New Year. Happy New Year, my love attractors. You guys digging the new set? We're still, making some changes, making some improvements. Let me go ahead and get to the comments and see who's been waiting. Here goes Joy. I'm early, no excuse. Let's go 2023. Yes, happy New Year. It is 2023. And hello, Pamela. Happy New Year. I'm so glad you're here. Yes. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Accountability with yourself. So we're starting the year off with a bang. Love it. Thanks. Thanks, Joy. We are starting the year off with a bang. I want you all to feel empowered, right? And one of the things I love the most about teaching, guiding, is that I get to impart all of the lessons and things that I've learned with you all. And you get to benefit from all of the hardships that I've experienced, all of the lessons I've had to learn. You get all of the benefit without having to go through all of the hard stuff. So please, if you don't do anything else, please just listen, take it all in, and don't have to experience it to learn these things. So for 2023, we're starting the year off with self. Right? We are starting from a place of empowerment. So we are going to start with accountability. Before we get too far into it, I'm a relationship type of girl. Make sure that you are subscribed on YouTube so that we can grow the Love Attraction community there. Make sure you're hitting the like button and you're sharing this live with others so we can spread the Love Attraction message. Now, I'm doing something different this year with these lives. We're going to continue to have them, every Monday. I am committed to that, but we're going to do the format a little bit differently. I am going to share what the lesson is. Then I'm going to tell you an intention. So you'll know my full intention with this lesson and what I intend for you to get out of it before we even get started. Then I'm going to break everything down and give you the 3 keys to every lesson, which is your mindset, your method, and momentum. So every lesson, you will have that. So you'll be able to take easy notes. You'll be able to go back. And my deepest intention all the time is that these lessons will stick with you and you'll be able to apply them. So we're going to try that format and see if that assists you even more on your journey. So accountability with yourself. And next week we are doing part 2, which will be accountability in relationships. So make sure that you listen to both. So my intention for this lesson today, I'm not going to hold back. My intention is to completely change your mindset around accountability. I want to provide you insight that will encourage you to see accountability as a positive. That is my intention with this lesson tonight. Joy said, yes, perfect, because now that I healed with doing my 28 days of the Love Attraction Journal, I can come from a place of empowerment and specific intentions. That's great. I'm glad that you put that together, Joy, because that really is the goal. The Love Attraction Journal really is the basis for this journey. It really does give you all the prompts and things that you need in order to heal and put yourself in a position to attract from a healthy place so that you are attracting healthier love. So congratulations to you on that journal, completing that and starting the year off with us from empowerment. I love that. Okay, so now that you know my intention, let's get down to it. I honestly feel like accountability is like the new manifestation. For a while, manifestation was everywhere. It was like the buzzword. That's what everyone was saying. Everybody had some sort of course around it, all of that, right? I feel like accountability is starting to be that now. We're seeing it everywhere. Everyone's teaching lessons on it. It's popular. I'm not coming from a place of popularity because as much as I've seen accountability being talked about, I have not yet heard anyone talk about it the way I'm going to talk about it tonight. So be ready. So let's start with the definition for accountability. Accountability is the obligation to explain, justify, and take responsibility for one's actions. That's the textbook dictionary definition of accountability. In the love attraction community, I always challenge you all to make your own definitions. So we always start from a place of, okay, how do we universally define this term? And that's what we're doing with the dictionary definition. That's our basis, right? But now how do we define it so that it fits into our love attraction journey and it's something that we can apply? We know that in order to attract, you have to come from a place of desire, a place of positivity. Some of these words here don't necessarily rub me as positive. Justify, that's not necessarily the best. Obligation, I don't know if those are the best feeling words, but let's start with that basis. The mistake that I think a lot of people make with accountability is they think they owe accountability to others. When we look at this textbook definition, the obligation is to oneself. It's for your responsibility of your actions. So again, it's an internal thing. It is for you. It's not for someone else. And as I was preparing for this lesson tonight, I started to think about like truth. We always hear like truth hurts. I don't think that's true. I think the truth only hurts if you're not ready to change. If you're not ready to change, you don't want to hear the truth. But if you are coming from a place of, I want to attract love, I want different in my life, and I'm realizing that there are some changes that need to happen in order for me to have that, you won't have a problem with hearing the truth about it because you are inviting the change, right? Truth is freeing when you invite it. So I want you all to start thinking of accountability as the ultimate way to be truthful to yourself. And I see comments are coming in. I'm sorry, guys. When I get on my tangents, goodness. Thanks, Joy. Oh, Sheila, I see you're here. Yes. Wow. Yes, I know. When I come up with these lessons, I really try to give you a complete shift in how you have seen this topic, this phrase, this wording, so that it will really stick with you in a way that will encourage you to change. Okay, so I'm going to be really transparent tonight. Okay, I'm going to share my personal accountability story. And I'm going to tell you a little bit from past and then a little bit from present. I say this all the time. I only teach what I know. Meaning it's something I've experienced or it's something that I've already had to coach someone through via, them being my client and me gaining the experience that way. But 9 times out of 10, I teach what I've lived through. Okay. Can you repeat that again? Sorry, that was deep. I'm not sure what you want me to repeat, but the last thing before I said my personal story was the only time truth hurts is if you're not ready to change, because otherwise truth is freeing. So I believe that's the last part that I was on that was really deep. Is that what you were talking about, Joy? Is that what you wanted me to repeat? The only time truth hurts is if you're not ready to change. Because otherwise, when you are ready to change, the truth is freeing. Yes. Okay, awesome. Glad I could help. So onto my personal accountability story. Okay. So what made me want to share this tonight is many people ask me how I do what I do. Like, how did I rebound from, such a hurtful, you know, marriage? How did I rebound from homelessness, from being completely, in poverty? How did I go from working a 9 to 5 to now running 2 successful businesses? How did I change from being completely hard and aggressive to being way more feminine, soft, and ladylike? How did I do these things? And all of these changes that I went through required a process. But I can tell you the one key thing is the first step in every process I go through is accountability. Accountability literally is what I see as my superpower now. I apply accountability all the time, right? Instead of wallowing in negative situations or harping on what others have done to me or playing the victim when things don't go my way, I look at how I can assess my participation, contribution, or whatever, how I contributed to the end result, whether it was allowing something, whether it was ignoring something. You can always find a way to identify your accountability for participation in a situation. So in my first marriage, when things weren't going well, I spent a lot of time looking at my former spouse. I spent a lot of time looking at what he wasn't doing, how he was failing me, how I perceived his actions or lack thereof. I spent a lot of time focusing and actually telling myself, if he did this, we would be okay. If he made this change, I would feel better. If he wasn't doing this, we wouldn't be in this, right? And fill in the blank. I'm sure a lot of you have similar situations like that where you have tried to apply that same type of thinking, like looking outward. And when I finally got to the place of accepting I couldn't change him or control him, the only person I had any power over was myself. That is where I discovered how powerful accountability really is. So I started to look and I said, you know what? I'm going to be accountable. I chose this man, right? Maybe I didn't do my due diligence when I was choosing. Maybe I didn't look as forward into the future as I should have. Maybe I didn't weigh the things that I liked with the things I needed properly. There were so many things that I could identify that I did not do, or so many things I could identify that I allowed, that I actively participated in. And it didn't make me feel bad at all. Actually, it made me feel very empowered because I said, you know what? If I can identify that I chose these things, I allowed these things, I ignored these things, I made these actions, I also realized I could make a new decision. I could think something different. I could do something different. I didn't have to allow this. I didn't have to accept this. And I started to make moves from there, being accountable for my participation, my part, and focusing solely on that. It made it so much easier to make the tough decisions, like moving to another state without having, security, a place to live, anything, leaving a marriage that wasn't healthy, filing for divorce when I never wanted to ever be divorced. Like, it made it so much easier to make these difficult decisions that were ultimately for my benefit and my children's benefit. Right? So that's kind of my past with accountability. And remember how I always say, Um, Love attraction is a journey. It's not a destination. It's not like I'm going to teach you some stuff and then bam, you're fixed. You'll never need to work at this. No, once you learn these things, you can apply them easily and you'll know what to return to when you get off track. But it's something that you consistently have to be feeding and pouring into. So in my current marriage, right? Healthy marriage. I have an awesome power partner, partners in everything. But the realistic, part of love and marriage is you have disagreements, right? You have times where you're not 100% on the same page. And recently we had a disagreement and we weren't on the same page. He had one perspective, I had another, and I was offended by his perspective. And I allowed myself to get really upset about it. While I felt completely justified in being upset at the interaction, I chose to take a step back and look at my participation in the situation, right? So it didn't matter that I felt justified. What I looked at was, how did I behave? How did I speak? How did I react? And is there any room for improvement there? Is there anything I could have done differently there? And there was. So I immediately took some time to just focus on my part. And then when I approached my husband, for us to kind of make up, because we are really good about not letting things fester. We can usually have a disagreement, kind of break off, have our own space, think about what we need to think about. And then we come back and we're able to reconcile, make up, and move on with our day. And that's really important. So when I approached my husband, I didn't say, well, because you did this, I did that. I didn't do that. I approached him with humility, and all I focused on was my accountability. I focused on the fact that, I wasn't proud of how I spoke to him. I wasn't proud of how angry I got about a disagreement. I wasn't proud of my reaction and how I didn't take the time to process it and do it in a calm way. And I apologized to him for that and said, this is not how I want to represent myself as your wife. I'm not proud of that. Please forgive me. This is an area that I'm working on. And I didn't do that for him to apologize to me or for him to understand, more of why we didn't agree. I did it completely because that's my superpower. That frees me when I do that. I know that my heart is pure, remaining in a pure space, and I'm able to look at myself. And you know what happens when I do that? My husband receives me really well. He receives me with love, with kindness. He accepts my apology. And guess what? He automatically takes accountability for his part. I don't have to tell him, well, you need to be accountable for I don't have to do that. I don't have to tell him, how much it hurt me. He sees it in the way that I come to him and in the way that I'm able to take accountability for my own self. So I wanted to give you those two stories to let you know, I teach from a place of understanding. So I'm never judging you. When you all are having, your difficulties, you're DMing me, you're telling me about your issues, you're reaching out to me for additional coaching, trust and believe. I'm happy that you're reaching out for additional help. I'm happy that you are taking accountability for your own part in your love attraction journey. Please keep doing that. One of the things that is really important for me to bring up before I kind of wrap this all up is I think one of the difficulties, what makes it, difficult for people to always take accountability is I think we're taught to see accountability as like a way to absolve the other person of their responsibility. It's like accountability, we're taking the blame for the miscommunication or the misunderstanding or the issue or whatever it is. It's not, right? Accountability is not fault assignment or blaming. It's not. In all actuality, it's just acknowledgement of your own power in every situation. That's how I want you to see accountability from this point on. See it as your own power in every situation. If you can look at yourself and see what you contributed or what you allowed, that is going to give you the power to not be upset. And whoever angers you controls you. So we don't want to be angry. You can feel anger, but you don't want to express anger to others. You don't want to give them that power over you. So now seeing accountability as your own power in every situation, right? So now let's get to how I want you all to, first, how I want you all to see the mindset, the method, and the momentum, right? The mindset here, you're going to need to shift. So shift from negativity, shift from blame to it being positive self-awareness or emotional intelligence. When you think of accountability, don't think of negativity now. Don't think of blame. Don't think of absolving anyone from responsibility. Think of it as positive self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Now your method, how you're going to get this done. Train yourself to see every situation, disagreement, or circumstance as an opportunity for accountability. Train yourself to see it that way. So where you used to react, you used to feel like you needed to defend yourself to that other person. Now I want you to train yourself to see every opportunity, every interaction as an opportunity for you to take accountability, right? That's the method. Now for momentum, practice accountability daily. You can do it with yourself. One of the easiest ways is when you're late. When you're late, it's easy to blame everybody else. Oh, my kids were taking too long. Oh, this car came in front of me. Oh, this, that. There's always things that you can place blame on. However, you will do much better when you start being accountable. One of the ways I was accountable when I'm late in the morning, I'm like, you know what? I didn't get enough sleep last night. I didn't wake up early enough. I didn't plan out the day. I didn't journal my morning. I didn't do all of the things. I could point out a number of things that I could have done that would have made my day more successful and decreased the likelihood that I would have been late. Now, it works so much better when I can look at what I control and I can take accountability for that and I can make a change. So that's a very simple way to look at, thank you, Pamela. It's a very simple way to look at how you can take accountability all the time. So that's your momentum. I want you to practice accountability daily. It doesn't have to be anything you're proving to anyone else. It could just be things that you look at for yourself. How can you be more accountable? Because practice does make perfect. Now for the note taking, right? I know a lot of you take copious notes on these lives, so I'm going to help you out. There are 3 takeaways that I want you to get from this lesson. And you may have to go back, listen again. You might want to hear my story. It might give you other things to listen to. But, these are the 3 takeaways, okay? Number 1, accountability is not absolving others of their responsibility. Everyone has the opportunity to empower themselves, to look at themselves, and be accountable. You being accountable to yourself does not mean you agree with what someone did to you, said to you, doesn't mean you are promoting that type of behavior or anything. It is just literally saying that you empower yourself. It is your own power in every situation. Okay? That's that. Number 2, accountability is a gift you give yourself. That means it's just like forgiveness. You know how we say forgiveness is not for them, it's for you? Accountability is the same way. You don't want to focus on their response or their reaction because it's not for them. It is a gift you're giving yourself. So you are not bound to responding to someone else. You are not bound to what someone else is doing. You can be accountable to yourself, your own actions, and what you allow. And number 3, accountability is a self-love language. I know we talk about the love languages, and usually we're talking about those in the confines of relationships, but I want you to see accountability as a love language to yourself. It is the ultimate way to love yourself because you will constantly be of empowerment. If you are always looking at your own power in a situation, you will start to feel way more confident about what you can attract into your life because you'll always feel like you can just look within instead of placing blame on that relationship, that other person, how they did something, how something happened to you. You can always look inward and make any change you need to change your outward experience. So remember, accountability is a self-love language. All right. And my coaching gem for tonight, accountability benefits everyone. If you want to experience more accountability, model it for others. If you are modeling accountability, you're not going to have to tell other people that they should be more accountable. They will see what you do and they will follow suit, or they will start to remove themselves because they can't operate with the same energy that you're giving out. You won't have to worry about not attracting people who don't take accountability because you're always putting that energy out. So remember, accountability, it benefits everyone. All right. So as always, every Monday is a new coaching gem. It's a topic-based lesson and it's an interactive discussion. It is way more fun when you all are live and you're commenting and you're giving me questions. So please remind your friends, invite them into the Love Attraction community, which is my private Facebook group where I put exclusive content. I do more coaching in there. I give daily inspiration, motivation, all of that good stuff. So make sure you join. Make sure you're following me on all social media platforms to the YouTube channel. As always, I know 2022 is over. I want to thank you to everyone that took advantage of my end of the year love gift. So I did want to let you know what is a continual gift that I will be giving. Right now, if you sign up for my guidance course, you will get a free journal. So I'll give you the journal and then you will get 90-day access to videos from me where I'm going through every single prompt. I'm giving you guidance for how you can get through the entire process. It's basically like getting coaching from me. I'm giving you insight into every prompt and walking you through how you can get the most out of the experience. So you will not cheat yourself. And by the time you are done with the course, you will be primed for attracting the love you desire if you haven't done it already during the process. So remember to visit my website and take advantage of that. All right. Remember, God is love. We are of God. So attracting love is easy, especially when you have me as your guide. And ladies, do not believe the lie. We can have it all: career, family, and love. I love you all. Good night.